Hey, everybody, welcome to Skills on Sunday for Valentine's Day, February 14th, 2021. I'm your host, DM Gallibond. All right, today, Skills on Sunday, we are going to be looking at what is perhaps the most fun feat in all of D&D 5e to say. Svirfneblin Magic. Now, I want you to imagine that Valentine's Day, you wake up next to your honey and you roll over and you tell him or her, you make Svirfneblin Magic. That's probably the most romantic thing you could possibly say to your significant other. You know, of course, if he or she is a D&D player. All right. If they're not a D&D player, they might think something is wrong with you. Either way, it should be entertaining. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at what Svirfneblin Magic is and where it comes from and how it differs from its antecedents in the past editions of the game. All right, Svirfneblin Magic doesn't have deep roots in the game. It really kind of only goes back to 4th edition. 4th edition is kind of where they began to get the idea of feats that were tied to kind of the racial stock of characters and things that were unique about the races of the characters. Feats, there were skills in the game back in the original edition. First edition didn't have anything. Proficiencies in 2nd edition, they kind of came in and sort of were stuff that was based on your class. Feats in 3rd edition kind of were a smorgasbord of things, and they were all kind of little building blocks and whatnot. And then 4th edition sort of started to try to trim down the number of feats the way 5th edition has and give each feat something meaningful, either based on an ability score or on what your race was. And the Fey Trickster was one that was out of 4th edition, and it is only available to gnome characters. And the benefit is that you gain the wizard cantrips Mage Hand and Prestidigitation as encounter power. So that means every fight you can use Mage Hand once or Prestidigitation once. Now that's kind of interesting because Mage Hand and Prestidigitation are not often thought of as combat spells. So just in case you're wondering, we're going to take a look at the 4th edition meaning of these two cantrips. So Mage Hand, you conjure a spectral floating hand in an unoccupied space within range up to 25 feet away. It picks up, moves, or manipulates an adjacent object weighing 20 pounds or less and carries it up to 25 feet. If you're holding the object when you use this power, the hand can move the object into a pack, a pouch, a sheath, or similar container, and simultaneously move any one object carried or worn anywhere on your body into your hand. Move action, you can move the hand up to 5 squares. Free action, you can cause the hand to drop an object it's holding. As a minor action, you can cause the hand to pick up or manipulate a different object. And sustain minor, you can sustain the hand indefinitely. Special, you can only create one hand at a time. So that's the Mage Hand. The other one that you got with this was the Prestidigitation. So Prestidigitation is amusing magical trick, creating a dancing wisp of light, refreshing or wilting a flower, making a coin invisible, or warming a cold drink. So you can, with prestidigitation, you can move up to 1 pound of material, create a harmless sensory effect such as a shower of sparks, puff of wind, faint music, or strong odor. Color, clean, or soil items in 1 cubic foot for up to 1 hour. Instantly light or snuff out a candle, a torch, or small campfire. Chill, warm, or flavor up to 1 pound of non-living material for up to 1 hour. Make a small mark or symbol appear on a surface for up to 1 hour. Produce out of nothingness a small item or image that exists until the end of your next turn. Make a small handheld item invisible until the end of your next turn. Nothing you create with this cantrip can deal damage, serve as a weapon or tool, or hinder other creatures' actions. Cannot duplicate the effect of any other power. And you can have as many as 3 prestidigitation effects active at one time. So, really, prestidigitation, parlor tricks. It's kind of the 4th edition use of that. So that's what gnomes got. And you could be any variety of gnome in 4th edition to get that Fey Trickster feat. All right, now we're going to take a look at Svirfneblin Magic in 5th edition. All right, you have inherited the innate spell casting ability of your ancestors. This ability allows you to cast non-detection on yourself at will without needing a material component. You can also cast each of the following spells once with this ability: Blindness Deafness, Blur, and Disguise Self. And you regain the ability to cast these spells when you finish a long rest. All right, so we're going to take a look at what those actually do. So non-detection is a 3rd level spell. You can do this at will. Okay, for duration, you hide a target that you touch from divination magic. Target can be a willing creature or place an object, so you just, okay, so instead of using non-detection on anything, you can only use it on yourself. So you cannot be scryed, basically, or you cannot be found with some sort of divination magic, is what non-detection means. Then, let's see, blindness, deafness. We'll go ahead and we'll take a look at blindness, deafness. That's a 2nd level spell. You can blind or deafen a foe. Choose 1 creature you can see within range. Make a con save. If it fails, it's either blinded or deafened for the duration, which is a minute. It does not require concentration. End of each of its turns, the target can make a con save, and when it succeeds, the effect ends. Blur. Blur is a really cool, I think that's also a 2nd level spell. Yes, and this one is concentration. Lasts for up to a minute. And your body becomes blurred, shifting and wavering all who can see you. For the duration, any creature has disadvantage on attack rolls against you. Attacker is immune if it doesn't rely on sight, as with blind sight, or can see through illusions, as with true sight. All right, and then disguise self. This disguise self that's a 1st level spell, and it changes you, or it changes your appearance. Make yourself, including your clothing, armor, weapons, and other belongings, look different until the spell ends or until you use your action to dismiss it. You can seem 1 foot shorter or taller and can appear thin, fat, or in between. So basically, as a gnome, you could look as small as a pixie or as large as perhaps a small dwarf. And then you could make yourself, very slight like a pixie, or you could make yourself stockier like a dwarf as well. And you don't change your body type, so you can have to adopt a form that has the same basic arrangement of limbs. Otherwise, the extent of the illusion is up to you. Changes fail to hold up to physical inspection. So if somebody touches you, they realize that what they're touching is an illusion, And even though you may look like a bearded dwarf, you're not really a bearded dwarf if somebody comes up and touches you. So that's the limitation of disguise self. Uh, and then you regain the ability to cast these spells when you finish a long rest. In Intelligence is the spellcasting ability, and you cast them at their lowest possible levels. So, Svirfneblin Magic, that's pretty useful. Just like all feats in fifth edition, or most feats. I mean, depending on who the player is, some players will like some feats over others, but they all give you sort of a suite of abilities that are always on and can be used in a pinch. Because this one deals with spell casting, it just gives you those extra spells one time per long rest, and that's fine. Because if you're already a wizard, you probably have these in your spell book. But what it means is that you wouldn't have to memorize those spells because you already have them available, and you know, being utility spells, you may not uh, feel like you need to use them in battle. All right. Well, okay. I guess let's say blindness, deafness, and blur. Those could have uses in battle. Disguise self, you probably wouldn't cast that in combat, but you might cast it before you um, encounter something. If you're trying to fool somebody and trying to get past somebody. All right. Well, okay. That's gonna do it for today's Skills on Sunday. Hey, happy Valentine's Day once again, everybody. Hug your honey, tell him or her that you love them, and hope that you will have a wonderful, wonderful day. Many happy returns on this day. And please subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video, click the post notification bell so that you too can be notified every time new content drops on the channel. And until next time, take care and good night.